Students, welcome to our session. Today we are complete the asexual reproduction. In the first period, we talked about the asexual reproduction in the plant, okay? And we describe many types of asexual reproduction. Like what? Like number one, budding, binary fission, okay, regeneration, and now we are complete this type of asexual reproduction named by sporogeny. What is the sporogeny or reproduction by spores? Now we are going to describe what is the spores. Spores is a type of invasion that invade the body. Today we will describe what is the reproduction occur by spores and what are the living organisms that produce the spores. Okay, like bread mold fungus, okay, produces spores. Okay, we will see what happens in reproduction by spores. Sporogeny is the first type, or by this method, the following organism reproduce. Some primitive plant, like what? Like this figure show the part of the spores found in the starfish or compensate this. Many fungi, such as bread mold fungus and mushroom, okay, occur mitotic division by spores. Some algae and ferns, a type of plant which contains spores. Way of its occurrence. How the sporogeny occur? It occurs by single cells called spores that are modified to grow directly into complete plant. Means that there is a cell, only one cell. This cell called spores has the ability to grow and form a new plant. Okay, what is the structure of spores? Spore is formed of cytoplasm with a little amount of water, nucleus, and surrounded by thick coat. Okay, if you need to describe what is the spore, spore is a type of the cell which contain cell membrane, and inside the cell membrane contain nucleus. This nucleus contains cytoplasm and genetic material to undergo the type of the reproduction. Spores infect the human and they infect also the plant. Okay, comes from the mushroom, comes from the bread mold fungus, lead to producing. If the spores fall in a suitable medium, what happens? It grows to form a new individual, the same identical for the individual mother's individual. Spore, single cell modified to grow directly into a new complete individual when it present in a suitable medium for its growth and by which some primitive plant reproduce. Okay. Sporogeny stage. What is the sporogeny stage? Sporogeny stage is after this spore maturation, means after it reach to the mature or become large, suitable for make or undergo this division. It librates. Librates means come out. Yani, leave the cell. Okay? Migrate or librate means leaves the mother cell or mother plant to distribute in the air. Okay? Distribute the spores in air. When it reaches a suitable medium, what happens? It absorbs water and it's called rupture. It divides several times by mitotic division or mitosis. The same, mitosis like mitotic division, till it grows into a new individual. This occurs in the bread mold. What happened in the bread mold? The bread mold fungus is a type of the fungus in which if you bring a bread and put it in a plastic bags, and these plastic bags contain some drops of water, what happens after 2 days in winter, but in summer after 1 day, what happens? You can see that the bread contain on the surface of it some spots. These spots like green, or these spots named by bread mold fungus. bread mold fungus اللي هو عفن الخبز. Okay, this is a type of reproduction occur when spores leave the mother and enter this cell. What happens? Decay the bread. Decay means the change this bread which made of starch or made of wheat, change it into simple sugar, can dissolve and cannot be eaten by the human. Okay, this is a toxic substance. Okay, bread mold fungus produced these spores is a toxic substance. What are the advantage of sporogeny? Advantage of sporogeny means مميزات الsporogeny. Okay, number one, quick propagation. Quick propagations means it can transfer from one place to another rapidly. Okay, spores can move with air, can move with water, small in size, so it quick propagation or highly moves from one place to another. Number two, tolerance to hard conditions. What is the tolerance? Means it faces the hard conditions, can be live in so difficult conditions, high temperature, can be live in this high temperature, can be live in short amount of water. Number three, distribution to distant regions. Spores can be moves from one place to another, means can move in a distant place means very away place or very large places. Okay, this is a type of mushroom, ready mushroom, or this is the body of the mushroom. What happens? Mushroom, take care that there are two types of mushroom. Okay, there is a mushroom, useful mushroom you eat. Okay, this mushroom contain high percentage of protein, is more rich in protein than meat. Okay, mushroom contain high percentage of protein more than meat. Okay, so it is preferred to eat mushroom than any type of protein. This is type of mushroom. There are another type of mushroom. It is a toxic mushroom. It is a poisonous, lead to death. Okay, and this is lead to death because it feeds on the saprophytes, feeds on dead bodies. So it contains toxic substance. It never eats this type of mushroom. Okay, now we are to see what is the mushroom produce spores. The spores found in the mushroom in the base of the mushroom. Okay, when the mushroom come in a suitable medium, the spores falls and produce a new individual of mushroom. Okay, you can see that is the spore print, spores, positive and negative spores, spore germination after growth, and fruiting body or primordium of spores. Okay, after the spores falls on suitable, this is strains fused and build rhizophores mycelium. This is the bread mold fungus. Okay, you can see the head. Okay, 0.2 millimeter means contain spores, and the case around this spores called spore case or sporangy. Okay, the holder which carry the spores means by sprogonophores. Okay, this is the rhizoid. The second figure show the bread mold fungus that found on it spores. Okay. After sporogeny, there are parthenogenesis. What is the parthenogenesis? Parthenogenesis is ability of ovum to develop into new individual without being fertilized by male gametes. Okay, you know that is the ovum is a gamete. Ovum is a gamete, come from the ovary. Okay, this ovum need to fertilize or to produce a new individual, need sperm. Okay, but if there is no sperm and this ovum produced a new individual without found of sperm, what this type of reproduction knowing as parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis means that the ovum produce a new individual without needing for sperm or without needing male gametes. Maybe male gametes, sperm or pollen grains. If pollen grains in plant with sperm in animal, okay? If there is male gamete not found, this ovum can undergo mitotic division and undergo asexual reproduction known as parthenogenesis. Okay? Okay. In parthenogenesis, produce new individual without needing the male gametes. Okay. Parthenogenesis is considered a special type of asexual reproduction. Why? Because the progeny means the individuals that come out from this parthenogenesis. What happens to the progeny? The progeny comes from the one parent only, resulting from female, only female, without needing of the male gametes. So in this case, we call this parthenogenesis happen. Okay. Parthenogenesis occur in a number of worms, Fididae, okay, crustaceans, insects. Okay, how can this occur? A way of its occurrence. Number one, parthenogenesis can occur naturally or artificially as follows. Then, artificial parthenogenesis. Example for artificial parthenogenesis, frog and the sea star. Okay, this type of parthenogenesis, artificial parthenogenesis, in which what happens? You take the ovary of the frog and also the ovary of the sea star. To take this ovary, produce injection, okay, by sprinkle to initiate the ovary to produce large number of ovum. This type named by artificial parthenogenesis. Okay, so you have two types of parthenogenesis. Number one, natural parthenogenesis. Number two, artificial parthenogenesis. Natural parthenogenesis occur in the honeybee to produce the droners of male, which contain haploid number of chromosome. Number two, in aphid insect to produce the female, which contains the same number of chromosomes 2n. This is the natural parthenogenesis. But what is the artificial parthenogenesis? Artificial parthenogenesis occur in frog and the starfish to produce large number of ovum to undergo asexual reproduction also. Okay, this is the parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis has been induced artificially by activating the eggs through their exposure to thermal or electric shock or radiation. Means that the eggs may be exposed to heat, to electricity, to radiations to form a new individual from this egg without male gametes. Some salt or agiations or prickling means injection this egg with a needle leading to duplicate of the chromosome without fertilization, forming new individuals that are totally identical to their mother. In rabbit, by using similar stimuli or stimulus, okay, to form early embryonic stage of rabbit from their ova. The last one from asexual reproduction named by tissue culture. What is the tissue culture? Tissue culture is a type of asexual reproduction in which they can grow another living organism in nutritive medium. Like what? Scientists study the animal and the plant tissue culture. Okay? It is a growth of living tissue. Its cells contain the all genetic information in a semi-natural nutritive medium. Then following its tissues differentiate and progress into a fully developed organism. What is the scientific principle for plant tissue culture? Any somatic cell in plant cell that comprises the all genetic information can develop into a fully plant. Means if you take apart, what is the tissue culture? If you take a part of the carrot or any type of plant and put it inside a tissue or nutritive medium. Nutritive medium means that the medium which is suitable for this growth. If you put them in nutritive medium or put them in a suitable medium, what happens? The part of the plant can grow completely without needing any type. Okay? Tissue culture, type of asexual reproduction in which you can cultivate many types of rarely vegetables or rarely fruits by putting the part of this fruit or part of this plant in a suitable medium, nutritive medium, help them to grow and form a new complete individual. New complete individual. Okay? This type of tissue culture. This is the end of asexual reproduction. What is the other types of reproduction? Okay? This is cultivated in proper. We said this sentence before. Okay, the second, methods of reproduction in living organisms. What are the methods of reproduction? This is another session or another picture to show the tissue culture, like if you cut part of the carrot and put it in nutritive. Okay, we describe it.
That is just about as deep as the depth of the gel. And then we'll just plant it right on into the one of the gel bottles. This is only about 20 milliliters of gel in this bottle. I lift the handle up and in it goes right there. Best part about this placement is the node right where the plants are going to grow from. That growing point is right where the gel meets the air. That's going to be the area heaviest feeding. Tissue culture plants don't draw their nutrients up through the bottom because they don't have the roots. The vessels aren't really transporting because we've lost transpiration, where water usually will leave the surface of the leaf and new water comes to the roots. We have a high humidity, so that doesn't happen. This is going to be direct absorption. So the first thing that happens this first month is the plant learns to absorb its sugar and nutrients right through the skin.
Type of division upon which depends. What is the sexual reproduction? Sexual reproduction depends on meiotic division, on forming gametes, male and female. Number of chromosomes produced from this reproduction is haploid number. Okay, haploid means half. Means if the number of chromosomes 46 chromosomes, it changes into 23 chromosomes. During fertilization, the male gametes fuses with female gametes, therefore to form the chromosomes. Okay. What is the asexual? Before we start with conjugation, this type of sexual reproduction, we must describe what is the sexual. Sexual reproduction is the second type of reproduction in which involves two parents. You must found, or it doesn't occur without the two parents. There are two parents, male and female. Male parents, okay, to produce the gametes, sperm for animal or human, and female gametes, which produce the ovum, okay, in plant or in human. Plant, animal, or human produce female gametes, produce ovum. Okay, after this sexual reproduction needs last time or more time than asexual to reach the individual to maturity. Reach the individual which undergoes the sexual reproduction to maturity. After he undergo the maturity, the ovary in female undergo meiotically division. Meiotically division means formation of gametes. Ovary form the ovum, which contain haploid number of chromosomes. While the testes in animal and the human undergo also mitotically division to produce the sperms. In plant, what happened? The anthers in plant undergo meiotically division to produce the pollen grains. So pollen grains, ovum, okay, or ovum singular, ova plural, okay, ovum, pollen grains, sperms, all these named by gametes, which contain haploid number of chromosomes. Okay, you must know the difference between the gametes and the reproductive cell, somatic cell. Somatic cell is a type of cell that's found in all the body, contain diploid number of chromosomes. Somatic cell like what? Like eye, ear, hand, liver, stomach. This is somatic cell. What is the reproductive cell? Reproductive cell also contain diploid number. Okay, don't forget that somatic and reproductive cell, they are contain diploid number of chromosomes. Diploid number means in human 46 chromosome, but in other organism 2n. What is the reproductive cell? Reproductive cell like ovary, testis, okay, anthers. This is the reproductive cells. Reproductive cell undergo meiotically division to form gametes. Gametes, what is the gametes? Ovum, sperm, pollen grains. This is the gametes. You must know what is the difference between reproductive cell and gametes. Reproductive cell undergo meiotically division to form the gametes. Conjugation, primitive organisms undergo this type of sexual reproduction. Like protozoa, algae, and fungi produce two methods which are, number one, asexual reproduction by mitotic division, which occur in the suitable conditions. Sexual reproduction by conjugation, which occur in unsuitable conditions. Okay, if the condition is suitable, the individual undergo mitotically division. If the suitable is if the condition is unsuitable, the individual undergo sexual reproduction by conjugation. Okay, what are the unsuitable conditions? Unsuitable condition like exposure to the drought. Okay, drought means dryness, or a change in the water temperature, change in the pH of the environment. Okay. Conjugation in Spirogyra. We will take Spirogyra. Algae is an example for the conjugation. Conjugation by Spirogyra. Spirogyra algae reproduce by conjugation in unsuitable conditions. And there are two types of conjugation in Spirogyra. Number one, scleriform conjugation. Number two is lateral conjugation. After finish scleriform, we will describe the lateral conjugation. What is the scleriform? In scleriform conjugation, the two filaments of Spirogyra become adjacent to each other. Means the two filaments of Spirogyra stand beside each other like the two rows. Okay, صفين كده جنب بعض. طب هنا بنقول protrusions grow inward between some opposite pairs of the cell. The protrusions means the small part come from the row to meet the another separating wall from the another tube. The protoplasm of one filament rolls up into a sphere and move through the conjugation to the opposite filament, forming the zygote. This is the scleriform in Spirogyra. This is the two filaments. أنا عندي two filaments أهم موجودين. Okay. What happens? One of the filament, one cell that contains the protoplasm of this one cell, roll on. Roll on means rotate around itself, make a sphere. Okay, sphere or circle. This sphere can be transferred from this row to another row. Okay, forming a new individual. This is the filament and conjugation in Spirogyra by scleriform. This is the form of Spirogyra. Life cycle of Spirogyra. Okay, conjugations occur. This one filament in the right side, show what happens in one filament. One filament undergo this type of reproduction, conjugation process by meiosis division to germinate and to produce a new filament for Spirogyra. Okay, there are two types of scleriform conjugation and lateral conjugation. Scleriform occur between the opposite cells of two algal filaments that are adjacent longitudinally, while in lateral conjugation occur between two adjacent cells on the same algal filament. The component of one cell move to the adjacent cell on the same filament. This figure shows the scleriform reproduction, asexual reproduction in the Spirogyra algae. By this figure, we end the scleriform or end the asexual reproduction in Spirogyra and also tissue culture. All the types of asexual reproduction we completed from the last period. I hope you enjoy our time and see you again. Goodbye.